Ethan Hale held his childhood sweetheart Lena Marlowe in a close, intimate dance right in the middle of our wedding anniversary dinner. All eyes in the room drifted to me, and I suddenly felt nothing but boredom. I turned and walked out. An irritated bark came from behind me. Serena. What the hell are you throwing a fit for? You're being completely unreasonable. I'd played the perfect, dutiful wife for 3 years, and I was done pretending. I turned around and flipped him off. Ethan froze in shock for a second, then chased after me and grabbed my wrist. It's our anniversary. Everyone's just here to have a good time. Do you have to ruin the mood like this? You're the one ruining the mood. Why'd you stop dancing? Go back to your guests. Don't leave them hanging. I'm tired. I'm heading home first. You know I have insomnia if I miss my window. I won't sleep at all. My calm, unruffled demeanor caught him off guard. When he saw I was actually leaving, he hurried after me and pulled me toward his car. What about your guests? I'll drive you home first. It is our wedding anniversary. After all, he smiled at me. Once, that smile would have left me giddy, too excited to sleep all night. But now, I didn't care at all. The second I sat down, I noticed the passenger seat was adjusted wrong, pushed way too far forward, and the dashboard was covered in a dense layer of sparkling rhinestones, glinting bright under the light. Ethan shrugged it off. She likes them. Says they make whoever's sitting here feel better. How generous of you. His tone turned cold instantly. It's just a decoration. Do you have to be so snarky about it? You're right. I'm sorry. Can we go now? It was like punching a pillow. He froze, caught off guard by my lack of pushback, then started the car. We barely pulled out of the driveway when I saw Herlina, running out in her gown, holding up the skirt as she stood at the entrance, staring after the car. Ethan saw her too. The back of his hand tensed, knuckles white as he gripped the steering wheel so tight it was hard to watch. Ethan, go back. She'll start crying if she can't see you. That was all the out he needed. He pulled over immediately. Wait for me. I'll be right back. He turned the car around and drove off, leaving me alone on the side of the road. I didn't wait. I hailed a ride and went straight home. Sure enough, Ethan didn't come home that night. Instead, Lena posted a photo to her Instagram story of her hand in an 4 drip. Stomach ache. So glad I have you. A man's hand rested over hers in the photo. I'd know that hand anywhere. It was Ethan's. I knew every line of that hand. Ethan's closest friends all flooded the comments. Ugh. You two are too cute. Stop shoving your PDA in our faces. What? Does his presence make the pain go away? Lena, you two aren't even hiding it anymore. Huh. Only one comment stood out. Sharp and out of place. Tell Ethan to come home when he gets a chance. I need to talk to him about a divorce. When I refreshed the page, the entire post was gone. I huffed a bitter laugh. That's the best you can do. Lena was getting desperate. She didn't get it. I didn't want Ethan anymore. Why would I throw a screaming, hysterical fit like she expected me to? I put my phone down and slept straight through the night. Ethan never came home. I was sitting at the dining table eating breakfast when he walked in the next morning. He looked well rested. I could only imagine how nice his night had been. What the hell was that? Serena. Did you have to stir up drama like that? Is it fun for you? She was alone and scared. What was I supposed to do? I nodded. I know. So can you sign the papers? I'm in a hurry. His face flushed, then paled, shifting through shades of anger and shock like a watercolor palette. After a long beat, he said, I won't agree. The only Mrs. Hale there's ever going to be is you. I almost laughed. Once, those words would have made me cry tears of joy. Now, they meant nothing. I said flatly. Just focus on driving. He blinked, surprised, and finally shut his mouth. 2 minutes later, a loud ringtone cut through the silence. The contact name on the screen read Princess Lena. I tugged the corner of my mouth in a bitter smile. Ethan cleared his throat and answered, then slammed on the brakes. Okay, stay right there. I'm coming. Lena's stomach hurts again. I unclipped my seatbelt. He cut himself off. Serena, what are you? Your princess has a stomach ache. I get it. I'll get home on my own. I didn't wait for a response. No matter how furious he looked, I flagged down the black car behind us, pulled the door open, and climbed in. Ethan hesitated for all of 3 seconds, then drove off. The woman behind the wheel huffed a laugh. Serena Voss, did you just flag me down to be your personal driver? I'll be your driver next time. Fair enough. She rolled her eyes. I told you years ago you were too stubborn to walk away. Even from a total womanizer like him. I can't believe you put up with it this long. I leaned back in the seat and took a deep breath. I'm done putting up with it. I'm getting a divorce. Clara Hale slammed on the brakes and pulled over, staring at me like I'd grown a second head. Serena, are you serious? Yeah, I'm tired. Being Mrs. Hale isn't worth it. I'm ready to pivot to a new path. I held her gaze, calm and steady. What if I help you become head of the Hale family, and you help me push Ethan out? Sound good? It took her a long moment to respond. I'm holding you to that. What do you want in return? 80 of Ethan's net worth. Clara laughed. Deal. As long as you can pull it off. Wait for my good news. Now drive me home. I'm exhausted. Clara didn't say another word. She just drove me home. I closed my eyes the whole ride, turning the plan over in my head. My marriage to Ethan had always been an arranged business marriage. When they first asked if I'd marry him, I'd said yes without hesitation. Ethan was devastatingly handsome, and I'd always had a weakness for a pretty face. I figured everyone in this social circle was the same anyway, might as well marry the good-looking one. At first, Ethan was perfectly fine, but 3 months after we got married, he started messing around with Lena. Men think with their dicks. Plain and simple. They never appreciate what they have. Always chasing the next thing. Did he really think Lena was his true love? She was just the second best. The consolation prize he settled for. If they were really meant to be, they would have gotten together long before I came along. The Hales knew exactly what kind of person Lena was. Ethan just didn't care. I got home, drew a bath, and when I got out, Ethan was actually there. I'd just laid down in bed when he walked in with a huge bouquet of flowers and a small velvet box. I took them, glancing at the card tucked into the stems. It was signed Your L. I opened the box. Inside was a lily brooch. I tossed both the flowers and the box aside, then turned my back to him. Ethan's temper flared. Enough already. Okay. I came home, didn't I? Lena was sick. Her whole family's out of the country. She had no one else to call. Okay. I'm tired. Let's sleep. I pulled the covers over my head. Once again, it was like punching a pillow. He had nothing to say. No fight to pick. After a long silence, I felt the mattress dip beside me, his arms wrapped around my waist, pulling me close. I caught a faint whiff of gardenia on his skin, and a wave of nausea rolled over me. I slapped his hands away. Ethan flipped on the lamp, furious. Serena, that's enough. I admit I went a little overboard tonight, but we're just friends. It was just a dance to liven up the party. Will you stop acting like this? I pulled the covers down and looked at him. Ethan, it's 2 a.m. Can you just let me sleep? I told you how bad my insomnia is. Fine. I'll sleep in the guest room. I got up and walked to the guest room. Behind me, I heard the sound of glass shattering. I didn't care. Did he actually think I was throwing a jealous fit? I just didn't want anything to do with him. Even talking to him made me sick to my stomach. Of course, that only made him more determined to get a reaction out of me. Before I fell asleep, I checked my phone. He'd posted to his Instagram, boring and rigid. When will I be free? Lena replied instantly. I'm here for you. Don't worry. I liked the post. Then commented, I'll give you your freedom. A minute later, I heard the front door slam. Guess I'd made him mad again. Whatever. I transferred 20,000 from my account. Then fell asleep peacefully. The next morning, my phone pinged with a set of photos. Clear, intimate shots of Ethan with Lena the night before. With these, I had all the leverage I needed to make my demands. I headed to the Hale Group office first thing. I could hear a group of employees gossiping before I even rounded the corner. Last night was the boss's anniversary. But him and Lena, they're perfect for each other. God. Anyone would think they're the married couple. Poor Serena. Stuck in a loveless, neglected marriage. Serena forced him into this marriage using her family's money. Now karma's come back to bite her. Total embarrassment. I huffed a cold laugh. They jumped, spinning around. And their faces went pale the second they saw me. I stepped toward them. Funny thing is, no matter how embarrassing you think this is, I'm still the legal wife with a 9-figure net worth. You better pray I don't get that divorce. Because when I take half of Ethan's assets, the first thing he'll do is lay people off. And people like you with looks and morals as rotten as yours, you'll be first out the door. They fell silent, frozen in fear. I walked straight past them and pushed open Ethan's office door. Ethan, we need to talk. Ethan was on the phone. Voice soft and sweet. I'll take you to lunch at noon. Okay, be good for me. He hung up. Looking slightly awkward, I didn't give him time to speak. I tapped my knuckles on his desk. I don't care what you two do in private, but you will keep it out of the public eye. Because if you keep embarrassing me, I will return the favor tenfold. Ethan's irritation flared again. I tossed the photos onto his desk. The paparazzi sent these to me. I paid to bury them. You're reimbursing me. His face went deathly pale when he saw the photos. It's not what you think. We'd been drinking. That's all. I waved a hand, cutting him off. Save it. 2 million. He took a deep breath, and a minute later the money hit my account. I nodded, then said, also, I want the Cloudvale project. He sat up straight instantly. Cloudvale already has a lead. I can give you a different project. Fine. Then give me Verve Media. I settled for the small, underperforming media company. I knew Cloudvale was Ethan's gift for Lena. I'd never get it. He hesitated for only a moment, then agreed. Deal. I smiled. Don't get too comfortable. I have one more condition. His face darkened. Those photos are worth all that. You're not. But the Hale family's reputation, and the company's stock, they're worth far more. I leaned back on the couch, watching him. We're taking a photo together. The company needs stability. We can't have the public thinking our marriage is falling apart. Word about last night is everywhere. Your mom called this morning, told us to come over for dinner. You don't want your dad beating your ass, do you? He gritted his teeth. I patted his cheek. Smile naturally. Don't make it obvious we're faking it. I took a photo of us together from his phone, posted it to his social media, then liked it from my account. Instantly, comments flooded in, teasing him for the cute couple PDA. All the rumors died down immediately. My mother-in-law called right after. I put her on speakerphone right in front of Ethan. Serena, dear, come over for lunch today. Bring Ethan with you. Of course. Mom, I'm in his office right now. We'll be there together at noon. I held the phone up to Ethan's mouth. He had no choice but to agree. Yeah, we'll be there. I hung up, then looked at him. I have work to do. Don't be late. He clenched his fists. I smiled. I could already imagine him panicking, trying to figure out how to explain this to Lena. Don't worry, I'd help him with that. When I walked out of the office, the gossiping employees were already packing up their things, eyes red. They didn't dare say a word when they saw me. I smiled. If you can't handle the consequences, don't run your mouth. I was almost to the elevator when someone shoved me hard from behind. I was about to snap when crash. A huge flower pot crashed down right where I'd been standing a second before. I broke out in a cold sweat. I looked up. The hallway above was empty. My phone pinged with a photo. I opened it, and my hand shook so bad I dropped my phone. Serena, someone's threatening you. I didn't have to turn around to know it was Clara. The photo was of my dog, covered in blood. He was my dog. I walked him, fed him, took care of him every day. The number was untraceable. Someone was threatening me. That flower pot wasn't an accident. I took a deep breath. It's fine. A cornered animal will lash out. That's all. Clara sighed. What about the whole fake happy couple act? Relax. Clara, do you know what I just got? She crossed her arms. What? Don't tell me you got his shares. No shares. But I got this. I slapped the Verve Media contract against her chest. She blinked. Surprised. That tiny media company. It's barely making money. What's so special about it? I already locked in deals with 3 top influencers. This is the age of influencer traffic. And I have short-form vertical drama scripts in development too. Clara. Fast money is the only money that matters. Ethan's projects take years to turn a profit. This is pure profit. And fast. She rolled her eyes, but nodded. Fine. I have a handful of film and TV rights I can throw in. The rest is up to you. I smiled. And we headed to Hale Manor together. On the way, I posted a short video, mentioning that my mother-in-law had invited us over for dinner. I said it so only Lena could see it. She'd done the same thing to me 100 times. Now I was returning the favor. When we arrived at Hale Manor, Lena was standing at the front gate with a gift box, and the butler wouldn't let her in. Lena was frantic. I just came to see Mrs. Hale. That's all. Please, just let me in. Clara and I exchanged a look. She huffed a laugh. Let her in. We don't want her running to Ethan crying that we bullied her. We're not taking the blame for that. The butler gave Lena a long, knowing look, then stepped aside and let her in. Lena's eyes flashed with resentment when she saw me. She leaned in as she walked past, voice low. Don't think clinging to Ethan will make him love you. What would I do with his heart? I wanted his money. I had nothing to say to her. When I didn't respond, she thought she'd won. She glared at me and marched inside. Mrs. Hale. There you are. Serena. Where's Ethan? That boy promised he'd be here. My mother-in-law walked straight past Lena. Right to me. It's not that she loved me, but compared to Lena, I was the only acceptable daughter-in-law. I smiled. I ran into Clara. So we came together. Ethan's finishing up work. He'll be here soon. Let's wait for him. Then I turned to Lena, feigning surprise. Lena. You have time to come today. Ethan told me you've been seeing that actor lately. Any good news to share? Lena's face flushed bright red. My mother-in-law stared her down. No wonder you were so comfortable dancing with Ethan. You've had practice with someone else. Huh? Birds of a feather really do flock together. Lena's face burned, tears welling in her eyes. I was a little shocked. I didn't expect my mother-in-law to be so brutal. Lena didn't dare say a word, just clenched her fists. Suddenly, the butler called from the door. Master Ethan is here. Lena's eyes lit up. She jumped to her feet and ran straight for the door. My mother-in-law was furious. She turned to me. Look at you. Just sitting here. That's your husband. Go to him. Don't worry. Mom. He's my husband. He's not going anywhere. My mother-in-law sighed. Exasperated, Lena looked like she was about to cry, glancing between me and Ethan. Ethan. Ethan's face was thunderous. He patted her hand, pulled her inside, and immediately turned on me. Serena, did you bully her again? Who would dare bully her? My mother-in-law cut him off. Ethan, get this through your head. This is a formal family dinner, after the scandal last night. The only reason you're not ruined right now is Serena. Your father's phone was blowing up all morning with calls from the board and our partners. They all thought you were leaving Serena for a homewrecker. This isn't a joke. If this project falls through, your father will skin you alive. She turned to Lena with open disgust. And you, Miss Marlowe, after the spectacle you made last night, I think it's best you don't come here again. Lena immediately cowered. Voice small. Mrs. Hale. I just came to apologize. I was out of line last night. I know I was wrong. If you know you were wrong, then leave. Don't come back unless you're invited. Ethan was furious. Mom, Lena has no family here. She just. So that gives her the right to throw herself at a married man. Ethan. Go to the study. Your father's waiting for you upstairs. Miss Marlowe, you can see yourself out. My mother-in-law showed her the door. No matter how angry Ethan was, He couldn't disrespect his mother in front of everyone. He patted Lena's arm. Go home first. I'll call you later. Okay. Lena had no choice but to leave. Ethan was called upstairs to his father's study. I don't know what his father said to him, but when we sat down to eat, Ethan was silent and grim. But he still automatically reached to put food on my plate. Clara smiled from across the table. Everyone says you two have a terrible marriage. Looks like they're wrong. Ethan nodded. Yeah, don't listen to the rumors. Clara gave me a knowing look. Ethan put a butter scone on my plate. I raised an eyebrow, then pushed it to the side of my plate. His face darkened. What? You won't eat something I gave you? Clara laughed and scooped the scone onto her own plate. She's allergic to peanuts. You didn't know that. Ethan froze, stunned. I'm sorry. I forgot. Here. Have the shrimp. That's your favorite. Right. Clara laughed again. Ethan, you need to pay more attention to your wife. She hates shrimp. Her favorite is sea bass. She put a piece of sea bass on my plate. Thanks. Clara. Anytime. Ethan couldn't sit still anymore. He cleared his throat. I can't believe you know my wife better than I do. Of course I do. Serena and I went to college together. We were partners on student council back then. Ethan's face turned green. I peeled a garlic butter rimp and put it on Clara's plate. I remember this is your favorite. We smiled at each other. Ethan sat there scowling the rest of the meal. After dinner, he drove me home. On the way, he asked, you and Clara were always this close? We were just acquaintances, but we're family now. Of course we get along. Ethan scoffed. Don't forget, in families like ours, sibling loyalty only goes so far. She and I were never close growing up. I knew the truth. He was jealous of Clara. She'd been raised to be the heir to the Hale family, until a bad relationship ruined her reputation and she was sent abroad. By the time she came back, everything had changed. Ethan had taken everything. She'd worked her way up in the company from the bottom, all on her own. Ethan was getting more and more paranoid that Clara would take his position. And rightfully Sash was far more capable than he was, especially now that he saw how close I was to her. I patted his arm. Relax. There's nothing going on between me and Clara. He relaxed. He had no idea what I was really thinking. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Nothing is permanent. When there's profit to be made, we can bury the hatchet. Ethan would never understand that. Up ahead, I saw Lena's car broken down on the side of the road. I raised an eyebrow. Ethan slammed on the brakes and jumped out, running straight to her. I couldn't hear what they were saying, but Lena tugged on his sleeve, and Ethan smiled at her with a soft, gentle look I'd never seen directed at me. He'd never once looked at me like that. A minute later, Lena saw me walking over. Oh, sorry, Serena. My car broke down. You don't mind giving me a ride, do you? Actually, I do mind. She froze, stunned. Ethan walked over. Furious. You're just gonna leave her stranded here. Serena, have you no heart? You misunderstand. I'm saying you can stay here with her. I'll take your car. That way everyone's happy. Ethan froze. Lena's face fell. I got out of the passenger seat, climbed into the driver's seat, and said, Ethan, you stay here with her. I have things to do. I'm heading home. Ethan was about to argue, but Lena said quickly, Ethan, stay with me. Okay, tow truck will be here soon. Yeah. I'll stay with her. You go ahead. Sure. Spend as much time with her as you want. I hit the gas and drove off. Asshole. He'd left me stranded on the side of the road once. Now he could wait. The tow truck wouldn't get out here for at least 40 minutes. Hale Manor was way out in the suburbs, in the middle of nowhere. I'm sure Lena was thrilled. She finally had Ethan all to herself. What she didn't know was I'd given her that opportunity on purpose. 2 hours later, the internet broke. A clear video of Ethan cheating, kissing Lena in his car, went viral across every social media platform. My mother-in-law was so furious she fainted and was rushed to the hospital. I got the call and headed straight there. Ethan showed up minutes later. His father saw him, and slapped him so hard across the face Ethan stumbled. "You ungrateful little bastard. I told you to keep your nose clean. You couldn't even wait. You had to make out with her on the side of the road where anyone could see. Have you lost your mind?" Ethan's face was pale with rage. I added fuel to the fire. "Ethan, I just paid to bury those photos from our anniversary. How could you do this again? What is wrong with you?" His father's eyes went wide. "What photos? Don't get upset, Dad. The paparazzi caught him with Lena on our anniversary night. I paid to keep them out of the press." His father almost fainted from anger. "Ethan, you keep embarrassing this family over and over again. Do you have any idea how many people are waiting for you to fail?" Ethan finally realized how bad this was. Reporters were already gathering at the end of the hospital hallway. I stepped forward. "I'll handle them." I led the reporters to a private lounge for an interview. Half an hour later, they walked out, all looking at Ethan with open contempt. I smiled to myself. When they were gone, I found Ethan smoking in the stairwell. I reached over and snuffed out his cigarette. "This is a hospital, and I fixed this for you. Next time, I want you to remember who you are and what your position means." Ethan stared at me, cold. "You did this, didn't you? How else would the reporters have known to be here?" "Ethan, even if I was angry, I would never air our family's dirty laundry like this. And how would I have known her car would break down? If you want a divorce, just say so. Don't do this to make me miserable." I turned and walked away. Ethan sighed, staring after me like he wanted to say something, but didn't. He was right. I'd called the reporters. Verve Media was going to earn its keep. This was just the beginning. The scandal destroyed Ethan's reputation. The press didn't focus on him, they turned all their anger on Lena, calling her a homewrecker who'd destroyed our marriage. They dragged her for dancing with him on our wedding anniversary. Shameless and unapologetic, Lena locked herself in her apartment, crying and threatening suicide, claiming she had depression. Ethan was stretched too thin. He had to take care of his mother, calm Lena down, and deal with me. I, meanwhile, was busy working every day. Every time Ethan tried to talk to me, I told him I was too busy. After a while, he got the message. I wanted nothing to do with him. A month later, the influencers I'd signed all had breakout hit short-form dramas. In 24 hours, they generated $300 million in revenue. The story hit all the trending topics. Everyone was saying I was unlucky in love, but lucky in career. Clara gave me a high five. "That layered chain of schemes you pulled. Genius. How did you know Lena would show up at the manor?" I waved my phone. "She's always competing with me, convinced that childhood love beats everything. I wanted her to see. If Ethan didn't choose her after 10 years, she already lost before I even came along. And spare me that garbage about the unloved one is the real homewrecker. I'm the legal wife. That's the only thing that counts." Clara was impressed. "You're incredible. What's next?" "Looks like Ethan's finally realizing what he lost. Are you gonna take him back?" I rolled my eyes. "Hell no. What about you? You ready to make your move?" Clara laughed. "As soon as you make your move, I'll follow. Let Ethan keep dreaming a little longer." We smiled at each other. In just a month, Verve Media had exploded into a major player, all under my leadership. By the time Ethan realized what was happening, it was too late to stop it, and he'd signed it over to me. It was fully mine. Right as Lena was getting ready to play the victim card to the press, I served Ethan with divorce papers. He was stunned. "Serena, you're divorcing me over one kiss. One kiss. You slept with her, didn't you?" "No." Ethan panicked. I lost all respect for him right then. If he'd just admitted it, I would have at least respected his honesty. But no. I shook my head. "Ethan, every time you came home to me, you smelled like gardenias. I hate gardenias. Lena uses that exact scented body wash. You showered at her place. Tell me what reason would you have to shower at Lena's house?" All the color drained from Ethan's face. Don't bother explaining. Lena already sent me all the proof. The only good thing about her is how stupid she is. She thought sending me those photos would make me hysterical, make me leave. Instead, she handed me all the evidence I needed. The divorce papers are right here. You can sign them, or we can take this to court. But if we do, and all of this comes out, you'll be ruined. Ethan finally realized I was dead serious. He flew into a rage, grabbed the papers, and tore them to shreds. Over my dead body. I will never divorce you. He turned and slammed the door. I stared at his back, voice calm and steady. It's no use, Ethan. Once, I cared about you so much that every time I saw you with her, I'd scream and cry and throw fits. Even your employees dared to gossip about me right to my face. But then I realized, if you can't hold on to the sand, just let it go. No matter how much I cared. You didn't love me, and I didn't want to force it anymore. I'm tired. So let's stop torturing each other. Sign the papers. It's better for both of us. Ethan paused for a second, but kept walking. I sighed. This was going to be harder than I thought. If he wouldn't sign, I'd have to take him to court. I didn't want to wait that long, so I had to go through Lena. I hoped she wouldn't let me down. Lena was admitted to the hospital after another suicide attempt. She kept calling Ethan, but he refused to see her. When I got to her room, I could hear her screaming inside. You think you can pay me off? No way. Ethan and I grew up together. Tell him to come see me. He's not coming. Stop wasting your time. This is from Mr. Hale. Take the money, or we'll have you sent out of the country. Lena broke down completely. No. This is all Serena's fault. That bitch. I knocked on the door. Can I come in? She flew into a rage the second she saw me. What are you doing here? I'm here to talk. Can you give us a minute? I'll talk to her. The assistant nodded and left. Lena glared at me. Save your breath. I'm never leaving Ethan. I'm not here to tell you to leave him. I'm here to tell you to go after him. Fight for him. Why? Why would you help me? Because I want a divorce. And he won't sign the papers. Believe it or not. I gave them to him, and he tore them up. I sat down across from her. Lena, we've been fighting over Ethan for 3 years. I'm tired. It's your turn now. Use this scandal. Show me how badly you want him. Honestly, I don't even want Ethan anymore. If you can get him to sign those divorce papers, I'll walk away and never see him again. Really? 100. I don't play games. I'll give you 3 days. If he doesn't sign in 3 days, I'll find another way. I stood up to leave. You won't let me down. Right. After all this time, you're the only one who can make Ethan do anything. A slow, smug smile spread across Lena's face. Don't worry. I'll make sure Ethan never wants to leave me. I nodded and left. Ethan was falling apart. Inside the company, Clara was closing in. She took over all his major projects, one by one. On top of that, Lena was hounding him to sign the divorce papers, and the press and public were still dragging him online. He couldn't take it anymore. 3 days later, he caved. We went to the county clerk's office first thing in the morning. Ethan's eyes were red, his face gaunt. He looked at me. Serena, is there really no chance for us? No. We were married for 3 years. I did everything a good wife was supposed to do. You're the one who cheated. I have standards. Ethan, you're tainted. I don't want you anymore. Tears filled Ethan's eyes. He signed the papers, and we finished the process. When we walked outside, he broke down sobbing. I'd never seen him like that. For a second, I almost wanted to comfort him, but I didn't. The divorce was finalized, and I split our assets immediately, pulling Verve Media completely out of the Hale Group. Clara made her move right on schedule. She presented all the evidence of Ethan's misconduct and the damage he'd done to the company, called a board meeting, and had him voted out of his position entirely. When Ethan saw what was happening, he finally realized it had all been a setup. He stormed into my office, screaming, Serena, you set me up. This was all your plan. I laughed at him. Set you up? Did I force you to sleep with her? Did I hold you down and make you kiss her on the side of the road? Ethan, you had no respect for boundaries. If you loved her so much, You should have married her. Why did you agree to marry me? You ruined Lena's life. And you ruined mine. But it's fine. I cut my losses before it got worse. Ethan gritted his teeth, furious. No. You still love me. I don't believe you don't. I looked at him with open contempt. Once. I did. But now. I'm young. I'm rich. I can have anyone I want. Why would I want you? I clapped my hands. And security escorted him out. Later, I found out Lena was pregnant. She threatened to go public with it if Ethan didn't marry her. If she was going down. She was taking him with her. Mr. and Mrs. Hale were furious. But Ethan was their son. They couldn't disown him. They would have sacrificed me to fix this. If they could. But I'd seen it coming. I'd already split the assets and walked away before they could do anything. Now that I was divorced, they realized just how brutal my revenge had been. I'd teamed up with Clara to push Ethan out of power. And taken half of everything he owned. I'd pulled the Hale family's most profitable assets right out from under them. Ethan finally understood just how much I'd hated him. Hated him enough to make sure he never recovered. The Hales had no choice but to take Lena into the family. Against every instinct they had. The press caught wind of it. Everyone said Lena had forced her way into the wealthy Hale family with suicide threats and a baby. Trying to secure her status with a child. What they didn't know was Ethan already regretted it. The girl who'd been his, the one that got away, was now just a burden he resented. He couldn't stand the sight of her. He wouldn't even give her a wedding. He only promised to marry her if she gave birth to a son. Lena clung to the wealth she'd finally gotten, clinging to Ethan every second of every day. He'd been kicked out of the company. After all, he had nothing else to do but be with her. Distance makes the heart grow fonder. With no distance left. There was nothing fond left between them. The worst part was Ethan kept coming to see me, over and over. Lena was consumed with jealousy. She grabbed him one day, screaming, demanding he tell her the truth. They got into a huge fight in the middle of the street. Ethan, furious, shoved her hard. She fell backward down a flight of stairs. She lost the baby. 3 months along. Lena broke completely. Because of a pre-existing medical condition. The miscarriage left her unable to have children ever again. The destruction was too much. She grabbed a knife and stabbed Ethan. He was critically injured, right as my latest drama hit #1 on the charts. I got a call from Mrs. Hale. Ethan was in critical condition. He wanted to see me. I almost said no, but I decided to go. Ethan lay in the hospital bed, chest wrapped in bandages. Barely breathing. When he saw me, his eyes lit up. Serena, you came. I nodded. I came to see if you finally got what you deserved. He froze, then gave a bitter, weak laugh. Yeah, you hate me. I did hate you. But now, you're not even worth the energy of hating. You haven't been in my heart for a long time. Every time you humiliated me, every time you threw me aside for her, I asked myself, what kind of fool was I to love you? Did you have any shame at all? You married me. But you never valued me. Why would I sacrifice anything for you? You never thought I'd put up with you for 3 years, just waiting for the chance to ruin you. Don't ever cross a woman again. Ethan. I turned and walked away. Mrs. Hale was waiting outside. Face ashamed. Serena, our family owes you an apology. I nodded. You do. You're his mother. You let Lena get away with everything. Over and over again. Don't tell me you didn't know exactly who she was. And what her family was doing abroad. But I don't care about that anymore. Just don't call me again. I won't answer. Mrs. Hale's face flushed with shame. I smiled. They'd thought the Voss family would be easy to push around. They'd been wrong. I'd put up with Ethan. But I wouldn't ever put up with being disrespected by his entire family. When the dust settled, Ethan survived his injuries. The first thing he did was press charges against Lena. They spent months suing each other. A never-ending soap opera that the internet ate up every single day. I found it almost funny. He'd never imagined he'd end up hating the woman he'd ruined his marriage for. But none of it mattered to me anymore. I wish you nothing but the best for the rest of your life. We will never see each other again.